Oi oi, bastages! How are ya? Well, I've just finished reading Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme, which is a comic book I made a video about just a couple of days ago about its preview, and I really couldn't wait for this particular comic for one simple reason. I'm an extremely huge Lobo fan. I love the original run by Alan Grant and Keith Giffen. I adore the art of Simon Bisley, who did a lot of the both interior artwork and the cover art for the 1990s Lobo. And for me, Lobo is one of the best representations of the 1990s comic books. A comic book character that you couldn't really write the same way he was being written in the 1990s. This very masculine Charnian space bounty hunter who swears and kills and drinks and fornicates all the time is just not appropriate for today's leftist oriented writers. I thought that, but apparently even I can be wrong, and this particular tie-in to the Dark Knight's Death Metal crossover event, whose main story is written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Greg Capullo, it was just fantastic. It was divided into 3 parts, each of them written by a different author. The first one was written by Frank Thierry, the second one by Becky Cloonan, and the third one by Sam Humphries. And I have to admit that, at least as far as the first and the last parts go, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a ride. The gist of the story is that Lobo is hired by Lex Luthor to find the death metal, which is one of the most rarest metals in the DC multiverse, and is one of the most important things that can help the heroes from the main story and the other tie-ins save the DC multiverse from Perpetua and the Darkest Night. Well, Lobo, of course, accepts this after he's being promised a proper payment, and then proceeds to find or search for this death metal, and embarks on his crazy adventure, and meets characters such as the Hawkman, or the Batman Who Frogs, which is yet another version of Batman from the Dark Multiverse, like the Batman Who Laughs, the Devastator, the Green Lantern Batman, all the different combinations of Batman and somebody else from the DC Multiverse. And especially as the first part goes, when you read the issue, you can really see that Frank Thierry is a fan of the original Lobo run from the 1990s, and that he was truly enjoying writing the issue. All the tropes that were present in the 1990s Lobo are present here, except for one thing, which of course you couldn't do nowadays because you would be called a sexist or whatchamacallit, something like that, and that is Lobo, slapping around females' butts and referring to female parts as being beautiful, simply accepting the fact that women are attractive. You can't do that these days, and it has also been done like this in the new Conan run by Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron wrote a fantastic run on Conan the Barbarian a couple of years ago. The only thing that the run was lacking, and the spin-offs, and the Savage Sword of Conan, was him saving damsels in distress, which is one of the main aspects of the original Conan the Barbarian, written by Robert E. Howard, and then the Marvel Comics Conan, and then the Dark Horse Comics Conan. But putting that aside, if we accept the fact that you can't accept that women are attractive and that you have to constantly masculinize women in today's comic books, this comic book issue was really a full of the main man, the buffed, cigar smoking, shooting, killing, and beating up, swearing Charnian, who was, you know, distributing punches here and there and left and right. And the third part, and the highlight of the third part, was Lobo actually, and then there are going to be some minor spoilers, getting the death metal and imagining his own multiverse, where of course everything is revolved around Lobo. So it's a Lobo-centric multiverse. So we've got Superman Lobo, or rather Clark, the Kents, finding a little Lobo in the ship instead of Clark or Kal-El. And the same thing applies to Batman. It was Lobo who actually killed Martha and Thomas Wayne. So, but these were just like one-page episodes, which was also present in the 1990s Lobo comics. They very often inserted a micro stories, comedic micro stories in the 1990s Lobo that were just there to as interludes, intermezzos, or to make the reader laugh even more. And the effect was the same here. I actually did quite enjoy it. The middle part, written by Becky Cloonan, it was okay. I mean, there was just one. It wasn't a plot hole. It was a character behaving strangely that I wouldn't really believe that this particular character was, could behave this way. And again, a minor spoiler there. So Lobo meets Hawkman, who is guarding the death metal, and he just gives it to Lobo. Like that. He gives the death metal to Lobo, of all the beings in the universe. Just like that. Like, yeah, have it. Maybe you can save the universe. I mean, alright. Okay. I thought that Hawkman would be more cautious about to whom he gives the most powerful metal in the multiverse. But alright. Other than that, it was great. The art wasn't bad. It wasn't Simon Bisley, but nobody is really Simon Bisley. But I also enjoyed the art. Lobo was buffed. Lobo was cool. And that's all I need, really. I do not expect any metaphysical, philosophical, cosmic stories and thoughts and ideas from Lobo. What I do expect from Lobo is an action-packed, masculine, over-masculine something, sometimes, 1990-ish ride. And that is what I got from this particular issue. Also, it was in many ways connected with this cosmic, huge, grand story by Scott Snyder. And but it wasn't disrupting the story. It wasn't disrupting the fun and the action and the awesomeness of this entire issue. So the Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme is one of the rare comic books, because it is a contemporary comic book written and illustrated and published in 2020 that is actually good. So unfortunately, I'm from the Czech Republic. I can't get my comic book issues instantly when they come out in comic book stores, but I will find a way to, so I have to buy them digitally, but I'll find a way to order it, this single issue, and put it in my Lobo collection, because I don't really collect many comic book issues like singles anymore. I collect collected editions. That's why I'm looking forward to the Dark Knight's Death Metal being collected this way. But I still do collect some comic book issues, and I've got a loads of Lobo comic issues. Especially because of the fact that there are no good collected editions. There are 2 trade paperbacks collected, so I have to I need to have them in floppies. And I will be only glad and more than glad to add this to my Lobo collection. So what do you think, my friends? Have you read Dark Knight's Death Metal Infinite Hour Extreme? And what do you think about Lobo or the 1990s comic books in general? Let me know in the comments down below. And that will be all from me. See you soon. Bye.